ladies and gentlemen of Birmingham AI Marketing.
Everyone, we need you to be quiet. Scott has something to say. Thank you.
Just killed my vibe. Hey Mary, how are you? Are you excited to be here? I'm so glad you're here. Are you ready to learn something? Good. How's everybody doing today? Is everybody ready to learn about AI and CRMs? Whose first time at a Birmingham? Oh, hey Jess. Whose first time at a Birmingham AI event is this? Everybody in here is in marketing, right? Am I the one sales guy in here? Oh boy. So welcome to Birmingham AI. Our mission is to accelerate AI adoption in Birmingham for all, to go from a meetup to a movement. Honestly, it feels much more like a movement to me now. If you've been around these things, if you've seen the crowds that come in, we've really made a lot of progress. So somebody was already asking me in the lobby, what weird off-brand story am I going to tell today? And I promise there's no story today, because today is very serious. Because I feel like people keep saying I'm behind, and I feel like every day somebody else is texting me, I'm behind, where do you start? Where do I start? What's the first step I do? And I can tell you for all, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 80 of you in this room right now, you have taken the first step. You have taken the first leap. This is how you do not get behind, by moving forward, by taking that first step, by being a part of this community, by getting up here, trying projects, failing, like I fail almost every day. I feel like everything I do breaks and then works 2 days later. I blame Claude Code. But the being in here and learning together, this community is why we are here. This community is why we put on these events, because all of us together make AI great in Birmingham. So today, like I said, is going to be AI in CRMs, but I want to kick off first by introducing my two fellow co-hosts, the amazing Daniel Walters and the amazing Miss Laura Flowers. We're going to talk about our 2026 predictions real quick, because this is the theme this month. We want to go ahead and make some very long, broad-stroking predictions that are going to be completely out of touch in 3 months. But it's because we believe in them. So, Laura, you want to go first?
Yeah.
I think Laura actually prepared slides. I just made the backgrounds pretty.
How did you get slides prepared? You didn't tell me about this until like last night at 10 p.m.
Did anybody hear that? I think a bird got in the room. Yes, you've got a... Yeah.
We're really high tech here. Can you hear me? Is this working? Yeah. Great. Okay. Whew. All right. Hi. I'm going to talk again, surprise if you've been here before, about AEO or answer engine optimization if you have not been here before. And I am going to start with some bad news, and then I'm going to talk about like some predictions that are not really bad news, some good news. So the first thing that I want to talk about real quick is we have talked about like SEO and AEO kind of going hand in hand, which is true. But there's a fundamental difference, and that is if you are ranking like number 3 for a keyword on Google right now, you're probably going to rank tomorrow. If Robert and Molly Google the same thing, their results are going to be about the same. But according to AirOps, who is pretty much the leader in this AEO space, that's not really the case for LLMs yet. We're seeing like only 30% of brands are showing up consistently when asked the same question on LLMs. That's not great news for us. And then over 5 consecutive runs, that drops to 20%. So that feels scary. Another thing that feels scary is that like right now, and I do think this is a prediction, I do think this will go down, but 85% of brand mentions are from third parties. They're not from your website. So yes, we do need to be optimizing our websites, but we also need to be optimizing like the internet and telling internet a consistent message about our brands. So prediction number 1, third-party mentions will replace backlinks. Backlinks will still always like matter, but ultimately you need reputable sites mentioning you. You need to be on Reddit, you need to be like on Trustpilot, things like that. But you also need like third-party publications, Medium blogs, anything that has reputation, the LLMs will cite you. So that's number 1. The The second thing that I do want to talk about, and this is like the good news, is that I think that ads on ChatGPT are gonna kind of crack open this black box into intent categories and like how we show up on LLMs. They're going to have to tell us a little bit of information. They're not gonna tell us everything. I don't think we're gonna get like a Google Search Console, and I don't think we're gonna get like anything like a core algorithm update. But I do think that they're gonna have to lift the curtain a bit and talk about intent categories and talk about how we're showing up in conversations. So those are my predictions. Right now, the best thing that I can tell you is like, control your narrative, control your positioning, get it in line, and get it everywhere you can on the internet. That is what I am doing, and that is what I think that we can all do to win AEO. Okay, goodbye. Oh yeah, yes.
So,
Hello.
because the AI engine knows the user way more than like a Google search or whatever, is some of this also because of which account is asking the engine?
I think so, yes.
Restate the question.
Oh, yes, oh, sorry. Corinne just asked if, because LLMs know you, is it going to tailor responses and brand, like what brands show up if you ask about project management software? If it knows about you, is it going to say Asana over Monday? And I think maybe, yes, but ultimately, like, we don't know yet. But I think that we will find out. But I do think it is reasonable to suggest that, like, yes, LLMs know me, therefore it is going to give me information that you know, is more relevant to me based on past discussions.
All right, it is my turn. So first things first, and I'm going to rely heavily on notes because, yeah, that's me. Raise your hand if you've used an AI tool in the last week, and keep it up if you're confident about what came out of it. How many people are confident in the output that they are getting from their AI? Raise them high. I want everybody to see this, okay? Some of us are confident, some of us aren't, okay? What I'm gonna try and do today with my predictions is I'm gonna try and break your brain. I think the way that we are thinking as a whole is flawed, and we need to start changing some of our thought processes and fix that. So let me set the stage here, okay? Everybody's talking about what AI can do, but nobody is talking about like what it's doing to how we're thinking about problems, okay? And as marketers, consumer marketers, we think about psychology every single day. The psychology of the customer, what is their flow, what is that customer thinking about as they're reading our lead magnet and everything there. So my first prediction is that we're going through an identity crisis. Our value is tied to our output. How we write that article, how we write that blog, how many contacts our workflow is flowing through our CRM, okay? In 2026, the marketers who are gonna set themselves apart are the ones who are gonna be able to untangle their identity from what they do to the judgment that they have and how they think about things, okay? This is something I keep coming back to, and I keep saying, the doing is no longer the work, the thinking is. If you are just using AI to craft your emails, and you copy and paste it, you hit send, you could be leveraging AI more. You should have it set up, I think, to where you can tell it, hey, I want to send an email to Josh, and let him know there's a bug in his software, we need to fix it. There's not one. I'm just using him as an example because I pick on people. It crafts it, you review it, and then it sends it. That right there, I think 2026, the people who are going to win have that kind of workflow. You don't touch your Gmail, you don't touch your 365 at all. The next prediction I'm going to make is delegation gap. I think in 2026, the people who are going to win are going to be the people who either know how to or adapt how to delegate. And instead of delegating to other people, you're going to be delegating to AI. Okay? For instance, every morning when I get up, I open up Claude Code, and I say, let's do a startup and briefing. I go, I grab my monster, because white monster, and I'll come back, hush. And I'll come back and I'll sit down, and I'll spend 10, 15 minutes going through my morning briefing. It'll show me my inbox, what I have to do for the day, action items for the day, anything I need to resolve. I use dictation software. I dictate a nice big chunk of text, and then I just hit enter. And AI just goes off and handles it. I think also delegation needs to come with context. The people who aren't going to win are the people who just say, hey, yeah, go figure that out. The people who are going to win are going to be the people who say, hey, I need you to do this, and I need you to have this context to be able to do it correctly. They used to say back in the early days of social media, content is king. Well, in the AI age, context is king. But I will also always say, consistency is queen. Just saying. My last prediction is efficiency mediocrity, okay? And I think we're seeing this all over the place, okay? Everybody's heard of AI slop, right? Okay? What about output from AI that's plausible? What about a 2,000-word essay that talks about something but has a flawed hypothesis somewhere deep inside of what it's predicting? That's going to come off, it's going to look good, but it's got a major flaw in it, and most people who read that may not catch that flaw. At that point, now we're building on a foundation of sand. And I think it is going to be more and more important as we're building out our own AI workflows, systems, AIOS, if you will, that we build in checks and balances to make sure that the information that is flowing into our systems, our personal databases, if you will, is checked and verified. And also, it helps to make sure that what we output is checked and verified. So that, trust economy. We become a trusted source, and we only trust other trusted sources. So like I said before, and the thought that I want to leave you with, the doing is no longer the work. The thinking is the work. And if that makes you nervous, good. It should, okay? It means that you're paying attention. It means that you value what you do and use that energy to help solve it, because we're all learning right now. And that's what I have. Thank you guys so much. Now, I would like to introduce our speaker. He hails from the Fast Slow Motion team, Mr. Michael Johnson. Give him a hand.
You need this, I'll take this.
How's it going, guys? Fellow marketers, I'm going to turn this so I can see my notes here, just like Daniel. Guys, super exciting to be here, and glad to just get a chance to speak and share what I know you're all hungry for, which is like, how do I use AI in my CRM a little bit better, right? Maybe not. Okay. What I hope to do today is kind of unlock maybe some thoughts in your head on, hey, I've got this system, it's just kind of sitting there. Maybe it's not giving me a ton of value. I get that. But there's some hidden just goodness in your CRM that you can really leverage for your benefit. So some stuff you need to know. First, this is who I am. You may not need to know this. I'm Michael, so I'm with the Fast and Motion team here in Birmingham, and been in Birmingham my whole life. UAB, go Blazers. Any Blazers in the crowd? Go Blazers, awesome. And so I'm helping teams get more value out of their CRM implementation. A lot of times, nowadays, that has to do with AI. Because what does a CRM have a wealth of that you need to unlock to get value from? Well, besides the head, you need to make those go away. We do that too. Data. Leads. It's the data. Yeah, the lead, yeah. It's the data, right? The customer data. That's what's unique about a CRM, is it's got a wealth of customer information. And as Daniel just said, context is king. And so you unite that with some AI power, and you've got some really good opportunities. So here's the 4 things I want to cover today. Why AI plus CRM, like why that makes sense. I'm going to talk about the 2 market leaders, Salesforce and HubSpot. Okay, you can hisses and boos, you can get that out now, yeah, that's fine. Salesforce and HubSpot. I'm going to do some live demo. What could go wrong with a live demo here? We're going to do some live demo, and then we'll do key takeaways, next steps, some thoughts to leave with. And here's what I really hope you walk out this door with today, after this session. I want you to have a good understanding of what AI's role is with CRM. Take that away. I want you to understand leading platforms. So what Salesforce can do, what HubSpot can do, and a lot of the other CRMs, Zoho, Addio is a popular one. They're going to follow suit in this. They don't have all these capabilities. So these are going to have a full suite of capabilities, so you can get some ideas, and then yeah, hopefully chart your path forward. Who's got Salesforce today? Okay, we got 2 people with Salesforce. Who's got HubSpot? A little bit more, okay. And that makes sense for a room full of marketers, because HubSpot started as a marketing platform. It was a marketing automation platform, and they just bolted on a CRM several years ago, and it's actually really great. And their pace of innovation is crazy. Salesforce, for example, has around 3 software releases per year, very mature company, as you would expect. HubSpot it feels like hourly is releasing something. I mean, I know in 24 they had 900 something software releases. And so it's just an insane amount of innovation, and so they've really caught up. And so they bolted on that good data piece that they recognized they needed on top of an already great marketing automation platform. So why CRM and AI matters. Why should you care? So it's got what I already talked about, your most valuable asset. It's got your customer data. It's got conversations that you're having with your leads. It's got conversations you're having about deals, emails. It's got transaction history, all related to a single person. And now we've got a wealth of data about that person, what they're interested in, what they've bought in the past, where they're at. Shoot, I've seen people store birthdays and favorite whiskeys in their CRM, right? We've got a wealth of information, and now we can use that to market, to personalize, because personalization here with AI is the name of the game. And so yeah, context is everything. So we can have the best campaign in the world, but if it's not directed towards an audience, it's not going to make a whole lot of difference. And so this lets us find a niche, a small audience, and speak a powerful message with the data that we have in our CRM. And then 2026, this is already here in CRMs, but you're going to see more and more of the doing, as we just talked about, offloaded to agents, and you're more in the strategy mode with your CRM. And so you're more directing, and you're the human in the loop, and you're checking and making sure that the drafting works. So I don't know, Daniel and I have the same notes here, but I wanted to say this. The marketers who win aren't the ones with the best AI. They're the ones who connect their AI to their best data. Okay? That's the difference, and that's kind of what you've got with a CRM. So I'm going to dive into some specifics. We're going to talk about HubSpot first, then the Breeze AI, what it can do just generally, and then some embedded things in their Marketing Hub platform. Then we'll talk about Salesforce, what Salesforce can do from a marketing standpoint generally, and then what it can do from its marketing platform. Then we'll talk about some limitations on those tool sets. So first, HubSpot. I got some examples of some agents here. So Breeze Content Agent, so this is, you give it some direction, it'll automatically generate content, blog posts, emails, campaigns, you name it. It can do all of that. I'll show that in a little bit. And then Social Media Agent, and so this is multi-platform social media management from an agent perspective. on a single platform. And so you can plug that into a campaign, give it some data, give it some direction, and it can build out a campaign and kind of social media posting for you. All right, and so this is really important. In this use case, you got to be a human in the loop. You've got to be that stopgap, because some bad social media posting, that's pretty dangerous. Okay, so you've got to be there. And then personalization, I think this is where a lot of the value is. So there's four main principles that I think about with AI, and especially in the marketing space. Drafting. We use AI to build drafting. Okay, we use AI to do some research. And this is where this plugs in. We research additional segments we may not know in our customer base. We use AI to do analysis on our customer base and understand things from our CRM data. And then we use AI to do grunt work. We use AI to do the things that we don't want to do. Okay? And it does it 80% as well, and then we fix it, and then it goes out, right? That's where we're at now. That threshold's gonna continue to grow. So that's the personalization side. We can dive in. We can uncover some things we didn't know about our database as far as a segment goes in a CRM, and then we can build content in and around that and be a little more effective. And then Breeze Intelligence. This is a big difference between the two platforms. If we're talking about Salesforce and HubSpot, Breeze Intelligence is an enrichment capability. There's 42 fields that HubSpot with Breeze Intelligence will enrich for you. So you can actually go into the assistant and say, hey, this person, can you enrich this for me? Find this information, and it will pull it in at an extra cost. That's HubSpot's game. But Robert.
What tier of HubSpot do you need to activate these tools?
Yeah, good question. It's going to vary. HubSpot's, so this is a different approach between these two tools, okay? Salesforce is, who thinks Salesforce is expensive? Raise your hand. Yeah, everybody thinks Salesforce is expensive. Here's the play with Salesforce. You pay a whole lot of money and you get the platform. And good luck. Like, customize it. Like, hopefully, you make it work. Because if you've seen one Salesforce instance, you've seen one Salesforce instance. It's just for one instance. Okay, so that's Salesforce's game plan. HubSpot's a little bit different. HubSpot, you got to put a quarter in the machine if you want to do that. And so you'll use maybe 1,000 contacts. Oh, you want 2,000? Ding, ding, ding.
You can put a quarter in it, and then all of a sudden you put $500 in it.
Yeah, suddenly. Yeah, so you'll find that if you've ever used HubSpot at all, they have a free tier, but you can't customize anything. If you want to customize something, you got to pay a little more. Oh, you want to do campaigns? Well, you're going to have to pay a little bit more for that. And so that's kind of how HubSpot gates their use case. And so it's a tricky question with HubSpot because there's no one answer on this. Breeze Intelligence is a whole different suite of tools that you've got to pay for. But it's really powerful, and it's, the highest tier market quality information coming in. So all in your CRM. So embedded features in Marketing Hub. So I'm going to show this in a second. An assistant. HubSpot's approach is there's just an assistant floating with you, going with you throughout the platform. And at any point, you can pull this assistant and say, hey, help me with this. And Breeze AI is going to help you. So it can help you write emails, generate captions, help you build some journey automation. It can actually do some workflow building for you. Discover segments, we'll talk about that. And then some AI-powered email, so write this email for me, conduct this, build these 3 emails, write this blog post. You can do all that from within the platform. So Salesforce is different. Salesforce's approach, we talked about the two different approaches. Salesforce has a very deep AI capability. I'm going to say HubSpot is a wide AI capability. A lot of different things it can do, not a lot of depth, a lot of breadth. Salesforce is the opposite. Salesforce has an insane level of capability and a high ceiling, but it takes customization to get some juice out of that lemon, right? And so it can do the campaign creation. Ideally, you've got a campaign draft, you feed it to a campaign creation agent, and it builds your entire campaign for you in a few hours, including the assets, blogs, emails, the journey, the workflow, everything. It does it for you, and then you go in and update it. It can do real-time decisioning on someone's journey and change the content they get based on what they're interacting with from an asset perspective. So it can change live your journeys and your process, and to do the same thing with the web. So 2 people, depending on how they've interacted with your assets in the past, can have different experiences on the web with your content based on what the web creation, web portion of the agent can do. And then they also can help you manage your paid media with the same type of principles. customer history, how they've interacted, what they bought in the past. We can change what we offer live. And so that's Salesforce's approach. A lot of the same features as HubSpot, just a little bit different. They've tiered their marketing offerings differently too, and it's a little confusing sometimes. But yeah, you get some cool stuff. Send time optimization is really great. Einstein's their AI, can automatically create segments for you. And then, yeah, content recommendations, journey campaign, and intelligence. So all this good stuff. Yeah, I think the big one here is this content recommendations portion, because, I mean, it is generative, but it actually can help you find that thing you didn't think of. Again, that's the drafting portion. It's the thing you didn't think of to fit with that customer segment a little bit better. So this is what happens when you end the slideshow accidentally from the remote. So we're just going to go back. And we're going to keep going. So the difference between these two, and I love this image. I thought HubSpot's the speedboat. Easy to jump in and get going and move quickly. Okay, it's nimble. It's got a small business focus, mid-sized business focus, and there's a lot of different things you could do. It's more of a plug-and-play approach. Okay, and then Salesforce is different. Salesforce is that cargo ship. It's going to take you a long way. It's got a really powerful engine, but you got to know how to use it. You got to customize it to get that power out of it. And it's got that premium pricing model. And so at the top end of both of these platforms, you're going to be paying close to the same. Okay. Now, from an implementation standpoint, Salesforce might cost you more, and it's going to take you longer. It's going to take you further. Does that make sense? This analogy. So if you're ready to go today, and you've got a pretty standard use case, not a ton of complexity in your business, HubSpot's probably the right choice for you. If you have a pretty complex business process, if you're working at an enterprise level, a lot of decisions to make, a lot of content, a lot of different customer and business lines, Salesforce is probably the right play. So just some thoughts there. I've got a deeper comparison here. Okay, this is just surface level. If you want more, this is an ungated. I'm not asking for everybody's email. Don't give me your email address. They're not even a form. It's just a PDF. So just grab this. Also, shout out to Daniel Phillips at ElectroDash here locally. I don't know if you guys know ElectroDash, but the best QR code generator I've ever seen. It's February, and I wanted orange hearts, and I got orange hearts on my QR code. So that's pretty cool, right? So yeah, just grab that. This is a deeper comparison document between the two platforms, and it'll give you a little more guidance. Which one? This is just a PDF. Just something, yeah. ElectroDash. ElectroDash, yeah. So, limitations. What CRM can't do. Folks like me don't like to admit things like this, because I've been working in the CRM space for a long time, but there's a lot of things CRM can't do. Again, no strategic thinking. This is going to go back to what Daniel said earlier. You don't want this to do your strategy for you. Maybe you can get it rolling, but you're the one that needs to make the decision, because you're going to make better decisions. It's got limited information. Even though you've got a ton of information in your CRM, it's got limited info. Your capability with these platforms is completely limited by what you have in there. And so if you don't have great data, if you're relying on your salespeople to populate great data about your customers and it ain't happening, you're not going to get great results. So it's the old garbage in, garbage out that really applies here. You need human review. It's going to hallucinate. It's going to try to make you happy. It's going to give you studies. According to this study, 65% of the customers that buy your product are happier. It's going to make stuff up like that. And so you got to check it all. And it's very much one at a time problem. So it's the majority of these use cases is going to be, hey, look at this one record. Now I'm going to show you a way to break that in a second with a demo. And then, yeah, the consumption's expensive, cost is expensive on these. So the 4 principles, when you think about getting the most from AI: clean data, use AI for drafting, like I said. Okay, measure the results. What you want to do you don't want to just go all in on AI first. Have AI build a campaign for one segment, and then maybe you build a campaign for the same segment, and then you A/B test the results and see what works. What was better about the one I built? Let's update the AI one, right? You eventually want to build to where there's automation on your campaign, on your process. But you got to compare, and then this is where the power is, guys. The power's in the API. If you've been hanging around Birmingham AI long enough, you've kind of learned that. The power's in the AI, in the API, right, with the AI use case. So we're going to demo some of that. I got 2 demos for you. I'm going to demo HubSpot in a dev instance, just some core use case. of the Breeze. For you HubSpot users, have you used Breeze before? Okay, so this is, okay, so we've got just, so this is good. So you'll get to just see kind of what it's like, what the interaction's like, basic use cases, just simple stuff. And then I'm gonna show you a little more advanced use case. I'm gonna pull up Claude Code, and I'm gonna show you some stuff you can do at a broader level with your HubSpot data through connection. So, what could go wrong with a live demo? Who knows? I did connect this earlier, and we are still connected, so that's great. And I'm going to, let's see if I can, look at that, is that better? Look at that, great. Okay, so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna create an email here, just a regular email. I'm just gonna write an email to show you guys how this works. This is something, I mean, you could honestly do this in ChatGPT and just port it over, but I'm going to show you how this works in HubSpot. So I've got HubSpot. If you haven't used the builder, you've got components that you drag in. This is just a text component here. Okay, I'm gonna click into it. And then you see this hovering right here. So this is Breeze AI Assistant. This guy's following you around the entire platform all the time, every page you're on. And he wants to help you. Okay, so you can click on this. All right. And you could say, write me an invite for an exclusive product launch webinar. All right. Make it engaging, but keep it brief. Make a good hook. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I would have said something better, but I got like 800 people watching me type right now. So, yeah, and so you can actually save prompts. I'll show you that in a second. I've got some saved prompts I'll show you. You can connect other apps and pull in other data. You can add attachments. You can actually call out specific records. We're just gonna do this and watch it work. And so when I tested this at home, it was, it didn't take that long. See, it didn't take that long. Look at that. You're invited to an exclusive first look. That's an okay hook, right? That's okay. Join us for a live members only launch, yada, yada, yada. Spots are limited. Okay, so now we just got started. All right, now I can insert this into the template where I had highlighted it, and I can, delete everything else that I had there that I should have done the first time, and then we can go from there. Does that make sense? How you use that? Easy peasy? Great. Okay, so now we're gonna go to the components here, and we're gonna go to the subject line, and I want a good subject line. So I'm gonna hit generate. Breeze is gonna help me do that. So it's all pulling the first name in. Okay, I could do that. Right, now that I've got a subject line and a body, I can generate a preview text. So pretty easy use case there, right? Pretty helpful, get some stuff moving pretty quickly. Again, this is the drafting portion of how we use AI. So I've got some saved prompts here I want to show you. Let's go to this one, show all my contacts in my org by lead status. Now I can do this from like any place in the platform. I don't have to be on a specific page. All right, and it's just gonna give me a breakdown by lead status. This one's gonna take a little second because it's gotta look at the massive amount of contacts I have in this dev instance. Spoiler alert, there's 42 contacts here. So I wanted it to go really fast. So it'll break it down, show by lead status. Oh, no way. That's crazy. Okay, yeah. Okay, well, never mind. Okay. I'm gonna do one more shot. So usually when I test this, it'll build a chart that shows me it's just a bar chart, but it's not gonna do it. It's telling me to do this, and great. I blame, who am I gonna blame? I'm blaming Scott for this. Scott, this is your fault. So usually that works. I'm just gonna move on. Okay, so this is an example of how you can call on a specific record. So I've got Maria Johnson here, and I can summarize that contact's history, and it'll tell me what to do next. So who knows what's gonna happen now? Now it's a gamble, right? So it's gonna give me a summary of all the interaction that we've had with this contact, It's going to tell me kind of where they left off on their journey. And so it's pretty helpful information. You could go to the record and get a lot of this info, but it's helpful to have it in one spot. And then I can start doing some other stuff with it. Okay, so you guys see, it's going to give me some detail. There's a sales call. There's some emails. There's an open deal. We had a meeting to talk about a new product line. All right, and so I could say from here, write a blog post that would resonate with this contact. I'm going to do this just in case it wants to be weird. Add Maria Johnson. So if I have a lot of people that are like Maria, if Maria is kind of my ideal customer in a specific niche, I could do this, and then boom, it's going to write a blog post that's going to resonate with Maria. And I'm 80% of the way there. Cool? Good use case? Okay. I'm going to show you one more thing. So how do we level this up? This is really good stuff. We're doing some drafting. I tried to show a little bit of research. Breeze didn't want to help with that today. Sorry about that. I'm going to show you a different way to do some of this. Yeah, go ahead.
On the drafting, do you have the context of your brand voice?
You can absolutely add that in. Okay. So there's settings here to add your brand voice, tone, branding.
That context is feeding into.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would encourage you before you do this, add that in. Yeah, you can add all that content. It's going to pull it in. There's a whole database back here in the settings that it'll draw from. So that's great. Good question. Okay, I'm switching over to this. All right, guys. Let's see if something's going to go wrong. I thought this would be the one that would mess up. So I have a Claude Code users. Got it? Okay, good. So if you're not a Claude Code user, don't be scared of this. But I've got a project folder set up called HubSpot Demo that I've backloaded some information into. And I'm going to use that to connect to that HubSpot instance you just saw and perform some actions. All right. I've got a prompt already written, so you don't have to watch me type, and we all know that was painful. I've already got that. I'm going to paste that in a second. And the first time you do this, I will just tell you what's going to happen. The first time, do what?
Can you zoom in?
Oh yeah. Ooh, actually, I don't know if I can. I can? Okay. I'll be honest, I don't know how to zoom in. Sorry. I've got great eyesight. So, yeah, so HubSpot demo. All right, and so I'm going to, every time I type this, I just think of myself going, Claude! All right, and here comes Claude. Okay, so Claude's coming to help. And I'm going to, I've got my prompt pre-written here, so you guys don't have to watch me type. And so what I'm saying is, hey, I've already done this work to connect to my HubSpot instance through an API. So you guys don't have to watch me do that. That would be boring. And so I'm saying pull all my contacts out, analyze the data, show me a breakdown by lifecycle stage and industry, create segment lists for the 3 most actionable groups. And after creating the list, write me a personalized marketing email draft for each one of those lists. And then I'm going to go in and adjust it. So Claude's going to do that. And while we're doing that, I'll flip back over here while Claude's cooking. And so it's going to show me the segments here in a second. Okay, so here it's working. So you'll see it's made a list for itself, pulling all the contacts, analyzing the contacts by lifecycle stage, create 3 targeted segmented lists in HubSpot, write a personalized email draft for each one. So you see, I'm able to work more than just record by record, which is kind of a lot of the use cases within the CRM. I'm able to work across the database. A little more powerful with the API connection. Okay, so yes, we got that. And like I said, I've got a lot of the connections and stuff pre-built in a Python script here. Claude built that for me. And it's just, I did that so you don't have to watch it build the Python script live. Okay, but it will do that for you. And it's going to, so it's got all the contacts. It's going to take a look at the lifecycle stage and industry, 3 segmented lists, and then it's going to write the draft in the background. It's probably going to take a painfully long time because we're all waiting for it. So, okay, we're done with 1. Look at that, done with 2. Okay, create the 3 lists. And then personal email drafts, look at that. Okay, so let's look at the results here. Great. So it's going to give me a little analysis. It's going to tell me, here's what you got into the different life cycle stages.
Make it bigger.
Gosh.
Are you a client?
Yeah. I don't know how. Control, really just Control Plus? Oh, gotcha. Look at that, man. Look at that. That works here too. I thought that was just a browser thing. That good? Bigger. Okay. Look at that. Okay. So I've got my breakdown by life cycle stage. I've got my industry breakdown. Here's my 3 lists I created in HubSpot. Hot MQLs, new leads, and customers, retention and upsell. It tells me how many I have per. And it's got 3 marketing email drafts pushed there. So I'm going to flip over. Let's look at my lists. Here's my 3 lists. All right, and if I go to my emails, I should have some new emails. I've got some new emails. So I could dig into there and check it out. So you see, looked at the database, analyzed it, built segments, added folks to segments, and then built some of the content. And you can take it from there. There's a ton of power in connecting Claude and using the APIs really with your CRM data, using AI to perform some key actions. So that's the demo. This is kind of what my point is. Level 1, 80% of value, 20% of the effort. Okay, you got built-in features with Agentforce, with Breeze, any market, no code required. And the same really is true with AI. Claude's a little bit more of a cost of entry there and to get going, but a ton of capability that you guys can just jump into. So I want to encourage you, if you haven't looked at that, check it out. Key takeaways. Your CRM data is your AI advantage. You can do so much with the data you got locked in your CRM. And it's worth the investment really to look at that data and organize it. And you may be thinking, I've been using my CRM for 10 years and the data is all terrible, okay? We see that a lot. And so I would encourage you, if that's the case, what I would encourage you to do is look at the last year of data. Get the actionable data set up, because that's what's relevant, last 180 days, and then build from there. Start with the native tools first. Try that Breeze use case first, and then as you get comfortable with it, go deeper. And then, learn, take a look at connecting the API tools, pulling multiple data sets together, and you're off to the races. So cool. That's it, guys. Thank you so much. Hopefully that was informative. Appreciate it.
It wasn't that great. Our CRM is our favorite part of the job. I was literally in HubSpot all morning.
Well, yeah.
Just pounding away at it. And that Claude Code takes HubSpot to the next level.
Absolutely.
If you guys want to talk more about that, make sure you ask questions. That's the hot thing we all need to be really looking at right now is Claude. I know it sounds intimidating because the word code is on there, but it's really just a retro version of ChatGPT, I feel like. Anyway, so here are our next events. Here is our survey. Tell us how we did. Tell us if you liked it, if you hated it. This is the security breakout. And I'm gonna drop this. Oh, look at that. Yeah, I was in marching band. So now for everybody's favorite part, we're gonna do some Q&A. So if Michael, Laura, Daniel, do y'all wanna come back up here? We're gonna do a little bit of Q&A. We're just gonna repeat your questions up here rather than passing a mic around, because I wanna make sure that we get everybody out of here at a decent time.
But we are going to pass this mic around because this is the audio for the video of this presentation that you can share with your friends of the breakouts. We're also videoing all the other breakouts as well. Find us on YouTube.
We're also doing a Christmas calendar this year. It's gonna be firefighter themed. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, a couple things. Michael?
Yes.
So what you just showed, write me an email or a blog post, whatever, that felt very much to me more like I'm in sales and I'm wanting to speak to, I wouldn't say write a blog post because I don't want to mess up marketing or what that is.
Right.
In my mind, if I'm doing a marketing campaign, I'm going into my company's, chat account, which we fed all the information and told them all about our company, and then I'm writing the marketing campaign from the ground up. Everything down to the webinar, the bullets, the objective of the webinar, all the emails, all the visuals.
Right.
chat, and then I'm going to plug and play, and again, I like the Claude thing, that's cool, but like if we don't have access to that next
Yeah.
or whatever, then I'm just gonna have those emails copied and pasted into HubSpot or Salesforce or whatever I use. And so help me understand, is that, am I understanding, that makes more sense to me. Is there, what would be the advantage of like using Breeze? Because I'm not gonna create an entire campaign just in one, you understand what I'm saying? Like I want a whole campaign from start to finish, every element.
Yeah.
I get that from chat and I'm like, or something, whatever, hey, and I'm gonna put it in there. From a marketing department, as opposed to if I'm sales, I need to see, oh, what do I need to do with my most recent lead? What do I need to, how do I need to communicate with them? More on a one-on-one level.
Yeah.
Instead of creating, does that make sense?
It totally does. So your question is, today I have a full comprehensive approach to campaign creation, and I use an internal tool, and you're using ChatGPT, I'm guessing, something like that, to help build it out, and you've got a lot of the brand content invested there, and so what's the advantage of using Breeze with that? So I think, so I'm going to answer your question in two ways. One, I don't think there is an advantage in using Breeze per se. It's just because it's using ChatGPT 5. That's all it is. It's ChatGPT 5. The difference is the data. Okay, and so what you've got fed into internally, you could also set up in the back end of HubSpot, but the difference is what you've got as far as the customer data and the interaction. All right, so it could have some deeper insights. It could write a little bit better, blog posts and assets than you're writing now, but you could do all that work within HubSpot. It could build, and you wouldn't have to copy and paste. It would actually just generate the records for you. And so it would just save you a little bit of work and get you closer, is what I would say.
Obviously, we want to have that customer data, but like if we built our own AI, we fed it all the information of our company, all of our blog posts, everything. So it's almost like we've trained it already to have not just our brand names, but literally, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
It would just, okay, that's all.
Yeah, so it's not, there's no secret sauce with that HubSpot's got. It's using ChatGPT 5. The secret sauce is like, it's on top of your customer data. So if you've already done that work, then I think you're there.
So, Mike, would you say that maybe a good way to kind of intersect those solutions would be to take what HubSpot brings you and then run that if you've already built like your own custom ChatGPT interface, if you already have your own internal tools, then take the data, like take the messaging from HubSpot through the internal tool if you've already built that infrastructure, which is great.
That's what our coders did essentially.
Yeah.
So it's almost like they put the CRM to the AI version.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, because the power is you can take all the actions you can do within the CRM, you could do through the API. And that's the power.
Yeah. And they all have, pretty much all the software has really good APIs, especially around HubSpot and Salesforce, since they got, money. Yes. What was your name? I'm sorry.
Jesse.
Jesse, yes, what happened?
Yeah, that's another question, Michael. Yeah, so I'm curious, is there a way to surface that data using the internal tools within HubSpot?
Yeah, so this is my prediction for 26, honestly, is that this is going to be the year that people set agents in a go-forward motion to flag and correct bad data. If you've got a legacy data problem, like it can maybe help with that. You've got to fix that, do some grunt work to get that done. But one, I think, emerging use case for agents in a CRM is to find and correct bad data when it happens. Incomplete data, whatever. But totally, that's a big use case.
I want to build on what you're saying. I think one of those agents could plug into like a sales coaching agent to help coach your sales team, because the number one people, and this is no offense to any salespeople here, you're great, but like, how many people know that one salesperson on their team who uses the one text field and puts numbers and this, that, and the other in it that like can't be parsed out? Like having a sales agent who coaches them to input data better, as well as cleaning it up on the back end. I agree with you, and I think 2026, data people are going to kill me. It's the year of clean data.
Yeah. You heard it here first. Daniel said so.
It was off of your stuff, so.
Follow up with Daniel, your question. These agents right now, it seems like to me, as a layman not in the tech world, I'm seeing opportunities for multiple different agents to do multiple different jobs to come in. I'm wondering, is there space yet, a space where people are creating third-party agents for these applications, or are they custom making them for companies who might be in a non-tech CEO who could use someone to come in third party to do that. Is that already a space yet? Because it seems like eventually somebody's going to do that.
So I is particularly on this because the last 2 weeks I've done a ton of work with agents. I think it's yes and. One of the things I keep telling people with just like normal user interface, AI, ChatGPT, Claude.ai, like you're building out things, but it helps eliminate the blank page issue, the white page issue. Well, when you go back to building agents, hey, guess what? You got a blank page. And you don't know what you don't know what you don't know. And all of us are trying to like go in and like, oh, I'm going to build this agent. I'm going to build this agent. I think there is opportunity in the market to basically, and nothing is stopping any one of you from doing this. But like, I think there's room in the market to build like infrastructure for an agent, for a skill or something like that, that has some standards to it. And then you take that template and you have a list of questions that customize it to your individual use case. Because like one of the things with me, some of the agents I've been building, like I want my agents to stay up to date. Like I have Pixel, who is my basically social media agent. Any of the posts and stuff like that that go into social media, Pixel crafts them. I read every word of them, but Pixel crafts them. I have data inputs that go into my system overall, that some of that stuff gets parsed out to Pixel. Pixel now can stay up to date with the latest trends on LinkedIn, trends on YouTube, what people are talking about, this, that, and the other. She, in my head, it's a she. She can learn new things. She can also unlearn old things. So there's that, like, you know, I can bring in new data to it. I can export data out. A feature like that takes context, takes time to invest that a lot of people don't want to invest. So I think there's a lot of value in like building out kind of like a template like that and customizing it for companies, for individuals. Yeah, I could talk all day on that.
Yeah, I think also too, what, just to echo that, I think anybody can build that. Anybody can build it, but what you're paying for with a service like that is time and experience. Yes. And so anybody can build it, but not everybody can build it in a few weeks and get it right the first time. And that's what you're really looking for in your position. Like if you're like you said, non-technical CEO, you just want to get it done. That's the market. There's people out there doing it. So.
But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up real quick. Thank you everybody for coming. Again, we have our event page. We have our NPS score. Please, on your way out, stop by that wonderful lady with selling sourdough in the lobby. We have been just housing those cookies back there. And I am not ashamed at all. So, again, thank you, Mr. Michael Johnson. Thank you, Laura Flowers. Thank you, Daniel Walters. I'm Scott Giles. Thank you so much, everybody. Everything will get emailed out to you, and we'll see you next month.